Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. I was born on November 29, 1936, in Kolozsvár, Transylvania. I was the only child. My father became a printer, and my mother became a hat maker. She loved making me cute little outfits with matching little hats. I'm about 4.5. My father, he says, I lost my job. Papa, last week they honored you as an outstanding worker. He says, I lost my job because we are Jewish. I'm about 7 years old now, and my mother says, let me take you up to visit your grandmother, and I could pick fruits and milk a cow. And my grandmother was baking bread. 2 policemen came in yelling, you have a half an hour. Collect your belongings. We are taking you to a labor camp. When the door closed, my grandma turned to me and she said, your name is not on the list. I want you to hide in the cornfield, and when it gets dark, you go over to the neighbor's house, and they will get a message to your parents. My father arrived. My father was serving already in a labor camp, and he had a yellow star on. As we were walking, I was skipping. He said, we will walk some distance from each other, and you pretend you don't know me. He was arrested. The next day, he was so badly beaten. When we arrived to the railroad station, 2 young Aerocrossmen yelled at my father, you dirty Jew. You cannot go inside the train. He'd seen a young woman with a small child. As a mother, I beg you, please, please watch my daughter. The train was filled with soldiers. She could have been arrested. My father, he had to go back the same night to the labor camp. 1944, Hungary was invaded by the Germans. My mother got papers to a Swedish safe house. She put me in a wicker basket on top of a furniture. By the time my mother came to get me, I was soaking wet. I was so embarrassed. I asked her, Mama, where did you hide? She said, I was hiding in the elevator shaft. I said, oh my God, weren't you afraid you would fall? No, I knew I had to come and get you. And as we exit the safe house, a policeman is standing guard there and looks at my mother and tells her, move very, very quickly, I don't see you. My mother said, you will have a new last name, Eva Nagy. Nagy in Hungarian means big. Now you really have to act like a big girl. Under your new name, I will try to enroll you to school. The next day, we got dressed very nice, and she took me to a local school to enroll me. 2 policemen steps out. They knew our real name. We were arrested, and we started on the forced labor march toward Germany. They took some of the young kids and put them on horse-drawn wagons. One day, my mother's feet were so badly inflamed, bleeding. She begged, could I please come on the wagon with my daughter? Look at my feet. They put me on. They pushed my mother away. A short time later, we heard shots. On January 1945, we arrived at Ravensbrück. They ordered us to give up all our personal belongings. I had a little ring which I got for my 7th birthday, and I put it under my tongue. They made us undress. I put my hand front of me. An SS woman hit my hand with a whip, and I dropped them very quickly. They shaved my hair, they sprayed me with disinfectant, and then they gave me strange-looking clothes. I stood in the corner. An older lady, she seen me standing there. Young girl, how come you don't go to your barrack? I don't belong to anyone. Oh yes, you belong to me. You look just like one of my nieces. And from now on, call me Tanti. She and I ended up in a barrack. We cuddled up next to each other. One night I woke up and I heard a baby cry. That baby was born during the night, and you have to keep it a secret. I asked my Tanti, do you think I will ever become a mother? She said, never, never give up hope. And please keep on praying. One night we went to sleep as usual. And when the morning came, my Tanti wasn't moving. I cuddled up next to her. The other woman in the barrack noticed, and they pulled me down. We were pushed back in a cattle car to Bergen-Belsen. The first thing we seen were mountains of corpses. Behind the kitchen area, there was a big pile of potato peels. We will push you under, bring us out some. They grabbed it from me so quickly, I never had a chance to put a bite in my mouth. The third time, I sat there and ate some potato peels before I brought some out. One day, somebody picked me up. I could see tears in the man's eyes and strange-looking clothes. He reached in his pocket and handed me a chocolate bar. We were liberated by the British. I said, I never plan on going back to Budapest again. I'm pretty sure my mother was killed, and probably so was my father. I have a chance to go to Sweden. I ended up in an orphanage, and in that orphanage was that lovely lady, Luba, and she became all of our mothers. I mentioned that I had that little ring. And believe it or not, I saved that ring all through the time I was in the camp. And one day I washed my hand and the ring slipped off. And that lovely lady, Luba, hugged me and she told me, it's never a personal possession that will carry on the memories of your loved ones. You have it buried in your soul. One day I'm summoned into the principal's office, and the principal tells me my father survived. I went to Budapest where my father met me, and he informed me I have a new mother and a new little brother. I just turned 10, but world experience-wise, I was quite a bit older. Every time I light my candle, I kind of visualize my grandmothers and my mother, because the little girl in me is still missing her mama. That little 8-year-old girl couldn't be sharing her story with you today without the compassion of total strangers who stepped in and helped me to survive. There is a wonderful word my father taught me. Just be a mensch. Mensch means a human being. Be a mensch, and be a mensch.